Remember the movie Karate Kid, released in 2010, which was the movie that revealed to the general public the talent of Jaden Smith, beloved son of Hollywood stars Will and Jada Smith. A particularly successful remake of a cult movie from the 80s, it featured a host of particularly talented actors, including the inevitable Jackie Chan. But what happened to these actors, most of whom were no more than 12 years old when the film was shot? Make yourself comfortable, and let's take a look at the career path of the Karate Kid actors, a decade later. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all the notifications and not miss anything of upcoming publications. Come on, let's get started. Let's start our tour of the Karate Kid characters with one of the most obnoxious characters in the film. You will certainly remember the evil Master Lee, the martial arts teacher of the gang who terrorized little Dre Parker, and who advocated the hard way in his teaching method, even if it meant that young martial arts apprentices would get hurt in the process. Master Lee will finally be ridiculed by Master Chan, and even his students will turn against him at the end of the Kung Fu tournament. But what you may not know is that behind the cameras, Master Lee is a close friend of superstar Jackie Chan, who regularly features him in his movies. The actor who plays Master Lee in the film is Yu Rongguang, and if you have the eye, you've probably already seen him in other Jackie Chan films, such as New Police Story, The Myth, or even the very funny Shanghai Noon, which was a real hit. Yu, in addition to being one of Jackie Chan's protégés, is a Chinese actor and martial artist, who started his career in Hong Kong, just like his mentor. His filmography is filled with action features and kung fu in the purest Hong Kong tradition. Playing the role of Dre Parker's sworn enemy, Cheng, despite his young age, has managed to make his mark on the film as the main antagonist in the story. But while in the film he is beaten to a pulp by little Jaden Smith in the final of the big tournament, in real life he is a true champion who knows absolutely no defeat. Zhenwei Wang was twice a gold medalist in Kung Fu Wushu, before being discovered and auditioned for his first role in Karate Kid. The young Wang had started teaching martial arts at the age of only 4 and never complained about the harshness of his training, which could sometimes last for several hours. But thanks to his efforts and perseverance, little Zhenwei quickly became unbeatable in his field and began to accumulate victories and distinctions. A fight between the frail Jaden Smith and this battle-hardened fighter would never have taken place outside of the film, as the outcome could prove fatal for Will Smith's beloved son. But it is certainly true that during the shooting of the film, the two young boys became very close, became friends, and the Chinese fighter even took advantage of this meeting to teach a few words of Mandarin to his American friend. Let's now move on to Zhuang, who was part of the gang of rascals led by Cheng, who had made poor little Dre Parker their official whipping boy. If he appears in the movie as a real bully, always ready to terrorize the weaker ones than him, this is not the case in real life. It is indeed the young Chinese actor Yi Zhao who lends his features for the role of Zhuang, and just like the character he plays, he is also a martial arts specialist. Unlike the other members of the gang, Karate Kid was not Zhao's first attempt in the world of the seventh art, since he had already played in a movie in the past, entitled Bo Ji Ji Ba, and released in 2005. He, therefore, had much more experience with cameras and filming and was able to guide his young fellow actors. Moreover, the young actor remained very attached to his teammates in the film, such as Zhenwei Wang and Xihye Liu, whom he still sees assiduously, once again forming their famous gang, but no thugs this time. The band of terror led by Cheng could not be complete without mentioning the evil little Liang, who practices kung fu with the sole motivation of attacking the weakest and subjecting them to 1,000 torments. But as you must well know, Liang, who bears the name of Xihye Liu in real life, is a model of wisdom and kindness. The young Chinese actor, in addition to his acting skills, is a great expert in martial arts and fencing and has been practicing Kung Fu Wushu since his early childhood. Beneath his airs of bad boy accustomed to the mountain, Xihye hides a passionate soul and a burning desire to become a star of action movies. The young man has an unparalleled devotion to Jackie Chan and is eager to follow in his footsteps, although his character in Karate Kid is his very first role. Since this cinematographic adventure, the young Xihye has decided to continue on his way by always giving the best of himself, as proven by his many shots on Instagram where he displays all his charisma. However, the young man does not forget to have fun with Zhenwei Wang Yi Zhao, with whom they form a real inseparable trio. Although he had a very small role in the film, Luke Carberry still got the red carpet and glitter and rhinestones at the premiere of Karate Kid. Luke played young Harry, an American expatriate in Beijing who would soon become friends with Dre Parker. With his experience of the country, Harry will try to put Parker in the bath, knowing well what feelings he could feel since he himself had been there. But surprisingly, the actor is really an American expatriate in China, since he had moved to Beijing with his whole family when he was only 5 years old. His atypical career allowed him to get the role, being the best place to play the character. Luke has wonderful memories of shooting and interacting with celebrities like Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. But contrary to the other actors in the film, he preferred to stop his career to devote himself to his studies, in which he succeeded with flying colors. Young Luke has always been a studious student, and his grades in math or Chinese Mandarin, for example, were excellent, which benefited his friend on screen, Jaden, who learned with him the few words in Chinese that he pronounced in the film. In the film, the mother of little Dre Parker is played by the great American actress Taraji Penda Henson. Henson was brought to the screen thanks to the excellent film, The Strange Story of Benjamin Button, for which she was nominated for an Oscar in 2009, in the Oscar category for Best Supporting Actress. After her role in Karate Kid, Taraji went on to make a string of successful films and series, confirming her superstar status with the television show, Empire. Her role in this famous series was so well performed that she won the Golden Globes Award for Best Actress in a Dramatic Series in 2016. But apart from her immense talent as an actress, Taraji has also proved to be a particularly gifted entrepreneur. The range of hair products she has developed is the best proof of her entrepreneurial talent. The brand that bears the name TPH by Taraji is a real success, and her many products are selling like hotcakes. A commercial success which obviously echoes its 16.4 million subscribers on Instagram. Following his remarkable performance as Dre Parker, the son of Will and Jada Smith saw his career in the film clearly outlined. Unfortunately, a few years after the success of Karate Kid, Jaden experienced a real debacle with the release of the movie, After Earth, in which he shares the poster with his father. Particularly criticized by the press, Jaden will prefer to move away from the cameras, to move towards another career, just as artistic. We quickly find him as a rapper, but also a muse for luxury clothing brands. Jaden Smith is also a successful entrepreneur, having invested in a bottled water company with recycled packaging, which is a real commercial success. So, not to mention the immense celebrity that his status as the son of a star confers on him, little Jaden has not yet reached the end of the road, and we can only wait to see what the future still holds for young Smith. If it is true that Karate Kid was conceived and produced by Will Smith for his dear offspring, little Jaden, the film would certainly not have had the same resonance without the incorrigible Jackie Chan to give the line to young Jaden. The huge actor had indeed announced during a concert in Chinatown in 2009 that he had agreed to lend his features to Master Han, Dre Parker's eccentric mentor, and that he was heading to Beijing for the beginning of shooting. Very quickly, the great actor fell in love with little Jaden, and a great complicity was born between them, so much so that it was clearly remarkable on screen. Jackie Chan was really dazzled by the great talent of the actor of Will Smith's son, but especially, by his incredible capacity to progress in his kung fu training. 10 years after the film, Jackie Chan has not aged a day and still remains faithful to his habit of being a great actor doubled by a great master in martial arts. Remember Dre Parker's Chinese girlfriend, Sweet Meiying? The sweet and shy girl who shared the poster with Jaden has now changed a lot, and she is now a real femme fatale. With a perfect physical beauty and an extremely neat image on social networks, the young woman is now a true icon in Chinese culture. However, the young woman decided to end her Uste film career after Karate Kid, to devote herself to music, a passion that she exercised in the film, just like in real life. The young actress and musician is able to play different instruments in this way, and her career as a singer has been successful in Asia. Yet undeniably, apart from Jackie Chan, the one who has had the greatest success after Karate Kid remains the young Jaden Smith. However, despite a more than satisfying career, Jaden has also experienced a real slump. And to try to get out of it, he later decided to play the extravagance card and try to attract the attention of newspapers and paparazzi. Inappropriate comments, bragging rights, and a counter-philosophy were all tools for the young Smith to create a buzz. Until his very last fantasy, wearing dresses. Yes, you heard right. Stay with us. We decided to conduct the investigation, to put our finger on what motivated young Smith to swap his wardrobe. So, you are ready? Let's dive in detail into the extraordinary and sulfurous universe of the star revealed by Karate Kid, Jaden Smith. Jaden Christopher Sire Smith was born on July 8, 1998, in Los Angeles, California. He is the son of Will Smith and actress and singer Jada Pinkett Smith. He is also the brother of singer Willow and half-brother of DJ Trey. If you still have a doubt, talent and fame are a family affair in the Smith family. So, it was only logical that the youngest member of the family should follow the same path. Jaden naturally took the road to stardom, starting with a few brief movie appearances when he was only 4 years old. We see him notably in Men in Black 2, and in the film, In Search of Happiness, playing the son of Chris Gardner, a character played by his father. This outstanding performance earned him the MTV Movie Award for Best Performance. In 2008, the little Jaden gives this time the answer to Keanu Reeves and Jennifer Connelly in the science fiction movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still. That same year, he makes an appearance on the small screen and plays in an episode of the series, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. 2 years later, he landed his first lead role and shared the bill with the illustrious Jackie Chan in the remake of John Avildsen's film, Karate Kid. This role will make him known to the general public and allow him to make a name for himself, and get out of the imposing shadow of his patriarch. He will be rewarded in 2011 with a Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a Feature Film by a Young Actor. 3 years will pass before seeing it again on the big screen, in 2013, in the action film, After Earth, a film that could be described as the biggest cinematic turnip of the year. Indeed, Jaden Smith, as a teenager, gives the line to his father once again, but the film turns out to be a real failure. The latter reaps the meager sum of $60 million in revenues for a budget of $130 million. A real fiasco. The young actor, who until then had a future in the cinema, had been criticized for his mediocre performance and was even crowned with a Razzie Award for Worst Actor of 2014. It was precisely this dramatic event that caused Jaden Smith to turn his back on the film and turn to new artistic activities. A bit like his father, Jaden Smith is a real all-rounder. Although he began his career in film, there was no guarantee that he wouldn't venture into something else. In fact, long before this professional crash, Jaden had launched a clothing brand called Misfits in 2012, in collaboration with his friends Moises and Mateo Arias. That's how he managed to make a place for himself in the very elitist world of fashion. And bingo, in 2016, Little Smith becomes the muse of the famous French luxury brand Louis Vuitton. Determined to recover from his professional failure as an actor, Jaden Smith launched a company with eco-responsible aspirations, the production of an environmentally friendly mineral water, sold in recycled cardboard bottles. Convinced that luck is smiling at him once again, the boss exchanges his model's cap for a singer's. Why not? After all, his brother and sister were very successful in the song. So, in 2014, he released his second mixtape, entitled The Cool Cafe, Cool Tape Volume 2, the second volume of a first mixtape he had released 2 years earlier. In 2017, he released his first album, Sire, followed by a second one, ERYS, in 2019. It's not very hard to guess, despite his successes, Jaden Smith still doesn't know where to start and seems not to have found his way yet. And as if that wasn't enough, Will Smith's offspring is not being discreet, which tends to amuse the tabloid press, always hungry for unusual facts. And if we said, unusual, it's well because lately, Jaden Smith does everything to be noticed and create controversy around him. Having been pushed into the heart of fame at a very early age, little Jaden has developed a very singular personality over time. As a child, he was never punished or even reprimanded. Therefore, he does not know how to distinguish between what is done and what is not done. His parents have always advocated the freedom of the child. It would seem that the young man, once he had grown up, did not have the necessary points of reference to make him a decent person in the eyes of his contemporaries. Thus, Jaden has become, perhaps despite himself, an extravagant, conceited, and even narcissistic person in the eyes of the press, which is not lacking in criticism as far as he is concerned. And Jaden constantly adds layers of provocative statements. He thinks he is misunderstood, an actor with an incredible talent that is not appreciated at its true value. He even goes so far as to compare himself to Galileo, and claims to hold the absolute truth about everything. The ex-actor also thinks he is a great philosopher, as evidenced by his statements on social networks, sentences that border on the absurd and sometimes even ridiculous. This behavior can certainly be explained by the fact that young Smith wants to come out of his father's shadow. Unfortunately, this strategy has backfired because, over time, everyone has noticed the deception, except perhaps himself, it seems. After his escapades on social networks, the young actor starts to amaze his fans when he becomes a model of the third kind, that is to say, that he defines himself neither as a man nor a woman. His appearance in clothing over the last few years passes all but unnoticed. Jaden Smith seems to come straight out of a manga, with a bit of extravagance on top of that. The actor appears, without any shame, in dress, pink or odd socks. He also dyes his hair in candy pink to match. And the worst, or the best, it all depends, is that he seems to perfectly assume his unusual looks. Jaden Smith claims to be the representative of the so-called gender-fluid movement. Neither boy nor girl, nor maybe a mix of both. In short, we're a bit lost. Her shocking appearances have even created some rather delirious questions about her sexual attractions. But to come back to her extravagant looks, Jaden Smith makes comments that seem to make sense despite everything. Indeed, since he appears in skirts and dresses, the actor-singer makes the headlines of the American celebrity press. The star of Karate Kid asserts his crazy personality and defines himself as an icon breaking with fashion stereotypes. In fact, he is said to have already reacted on Twitter in response to critics, addressing his millions of subscribers: "If I want to wear a dress, I will, and the new wave will start like that. I am an icon." Yes, we get that, Jaden. Smith's little one says he likes everything that has to do with fashion and new trends. He doesn't like to be reduced to the narrow confines of conformism. Jaden proved that by participating in a campaign for women's clothing called Series 4, launched by Louis Vuitton. The rapper and actor, who wears leather perfecto, a tank top, and skirt, has been the subject of much ink since the campaign came out. Following this, the star also launched her own line of unisex clothes. On the posters, Jaden proudly wears the pieces of the collection that one might think feminine spring-summer 2016 and seems to be right in her boots. In any case, if this case has generated a lot of negative criticism, other people have found on the contrary that women's clothes fit him like a glove, and have even welcomed this new trend of gender destigmatization. Moreover, he is not the only one to have relaunched this trend of wearing women's clothing. Young Thug, another American rapper, has already appeared in a frilly blue dress on the cover of his album Jeffrey, released in 2016. Very concerned about his style, of the image which it returns and well determined to affirm its personality, the one who considers himself as an expert of the fashion never hesitates to slip into a skirt or a dress. One saw it besides at the sides of the actress Amandla Stenberg in petticoat, or still in a flowered dress and a crown of flowers at the time of a festival of Coachella. And there again, his parents are always behind him to support him in all his choices. In Red Table Talk, a Facebook series offered by Jada Pinkett Smith on her channel, she revealed how her husband felt about their son's clothing choices. Although Will Smith was initially intrigued and uncomfortable with the affair, he eventually came to terms with the idea that his son could wear dresses, and today he even seems to respect that choice. We are now entitled to ask ourselves what will be the next whim of the young American. Will it be clothing, hair, art, politics? Only time will tell. So, what do you think of Jaden Smith and her clothing choices? Do you think that wearing skirts is the best way to draw attention to him? Tell us in the comments. That's all for today. Thank you for staying until the end, and see you soon.